Hello there, friends. How are you, Dr. Zhu, here with a very special guest. We had to wait a little bit because I messed up with the time zones and she's in Virginia. Thank you so much, Ambreen, for accepting my invitation. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, good morning. Since you and I have been connected off and on, so we forget to tell each other that I am in Dallas, Texas. And, but it happens.
That's okay. What a good thing that we are here, and hopefully, our fans and viewers are joining in a moment. If not, this video can be watched again. So, thank you everyone for being here and joining us and asking any questions. We are very happy to answer you, and we are very happy to entertain your comments right now during the session. Please tell us, where are you from? Where are you watching? Our favorite Ambreen Khan, our celebrity guest today. And let me just introduce her, because I'm sure that for majority of the people, you don't need an introduction, but the very, very current new fans and followers and my friends on Facebook may not know you. So she's the co-founder of Empyrean Foundation, which is actually co-founded with your brother Nico, right? And this foundation is based in Virginia, and they are helping women all over the world. So this is just humbly how Ambreen wanted me to introduce her, but I am sure that everyone should know that she's been a former morning show host on major television for 8 or 9 years, and this is where we met. And uh, and the the amazing part that she is a designer. So she has her own label for not only wedding dresses but all kinds of beautiful dresses for women. And so she is not only the chief designer for Ambreen Khan Design, but she is also the brand itself, and has amazing foundation which works with women and empowers women, gives them financial freedom. So I invited you today here, majority wise, to address women, and let them be inspired by you, of how you did it, why you did it. And just stories are always, always, always wonderful. So um, I want to say, first of all, congratulations on your marriage, because we haven't been on a live show, and today is my honor to have her here. While she interviews a lot of people, now I can interview her. So how amazing. So welcome, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation here.
Thank you so much, Ju. And this is such a beautiful introduction. I feel that being a fashion designer by profession, uh, it's not just about making profits and doing business, but it is giving back to the community as well. I was lucky to start teaching fashion as soon as I graduated from the Fashion Institute in Karachi, and then I got a chance to interact with a lot of youngsters who were like struggling in their life, and that's how we formulated a plan, a program. So mainly it's focused on women, but any other gender is welcome in it. So the program basically is to train girls and women for any kind of training they want to have. Through that, they can have a job or a business. So I started with the skill I have mainly is of fashion designing, and that's how we kind of expanded. At this point, we kind of help whoever approaches us and it's in dire need. They do not have the financial backing where they can actually continue their education. So we it is in nursing, it is becoming medical technicians, it's becoming, if you want to be a designer, if you want to be a technical person who does clothing and apparel. So we kind of expanded our horizon.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So
Really
the
amazing.
major, thank you. So the major part is, I would say, is another aspect of it is, supporting artisan from around the world. At this point, we're supporting some of the artisan in Ghana. Some are in Karachi, some are in interior Sindh of Pakistan, and then some north of Pakistan. So it's a chain reaction, I would say. When you start and you're determined to do something, it just goes on.
This is really amazing. And I have a question for you. How did this all come to you? Because this series, what I'm doing is interviewing women who found their voice, found their intuition, and made business out of that. So, how did you realize, being on major television for so long, that you have an inclination for fashion, or was it vice versa? How did it come to you that this whole fashion, and that you were able to make a business out of it?
I always wanted to be a fashion designer as a kid.
Oh, wow.
When somebody would ask you, what do you want to be, I had no other profession. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a fashion designer. I was from a very young age, and I wasn't sure. When you're like in your teenage, you're not sure what you're actually going to end up as a professional. But I'm glad that I got formal education in it. And I always wanted to have my brand. I always wanted to have all these things. So we may not be a huge brand at this point, but what we're doing is we're bringing change into a lot of people's life. And I think that became my priority than doing a glamour side of the fashion and everything. Being on the morning show was part of it, and I think it added to the courage, it added to the confidence, it added to the sincerity we had, like me and my team had in our passion, that, oh, this is what we want to do. So I think that kind of grew. It had a multiplying effect as well. And that's how this whole passion of mine of fashion design, it kind of changed into a social enterprise.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we met in Karachi on a morning show. I think it was the Sandcastle building, right? I think how we met. And so we instantly became friends. And I visited Ambreen's studio and the tailor salon in Karachi, where she's conducting, all the trainings for women. And it's amazing how nicely a little family is being nurtured there out of women, and they are have they she gives them a future, because they can come and work there and they can work at home. And not to mention your project in northern Pakistan, because that blew my mind altogether when I heard what you did there. So please tell us, because a lot of people don't know that what you have done there to change so many people's lives in women.
I really want to appreciate that how in depth Ju thinks about things, and she kind of we were like, the reason we became friends because we just connected right away. Because when there is judgment about anything, oh, why certain person wants to do something, and I think that kind of ruins the whole procedure, that, oh, that there is some kind of suspicion. But you and I, we go a long way on this. So in north of Pakistan, it was very interesting. Like I said, I think it was some kind of it was in my destiny to be there. Though I am born and raised in Karachi, but my family is from north of Pakistan. And what happened was that there was a catastrophe there, and because of the climate change, I would say, because of the climate change and all that. And there were a lot of internally displaced people, mainly women. So a gentleman who was actually leading Aga Khan rural support. He and I, we got to meet through another friend and a cousin of mine, and he introduced us. And I really want to thank live my brother, my friend, my cousin Anjum, that he introduced me to that organization, and that's one thing led to another, and I ended up working there with ladies for about 3 to 4 years, and that led, to so many things that we had the potential to do it. Simultaneously, I started training the girls who were my students in Karachi, who can actually become the support group for us, because I am one trainer, and one trainer cannot do as much as, when we would have more trainers. So we conducted bunch of training of the trainers. We call that TOT in our language, in Karachi, and those girls joined my group. So in the north of Pakistan, I was the main lead for designing, but in the south and southwest of Pakistan, they were like my team was working. So I think this whole journey became so wonderful, challenging. It's not easy for an urban girl, especially I would not me, but my younger uh, trainee designers, that you just go in a village and start teaching. You try to understand the language of those people. So hats off to those girls as well who stuck with me, who showed their resilience, because you know how it is when you're kind of spoiled when you're born in any city in the world. And if you have no exposure of the rural world, but you're still going there and working. So I think that gave me a lot of inspiration from them as well. And this whole journey began, and this is how we are right now. We have groups of refugees here in the US we are training. We're starting some more new programs that is related to women and environment and their health. So there's like so much happening.
This is so amazing, and I must say, because you did train 500 women in northern Pakistan to do stitching at home, and then they were making jeans and kinds of fashion apparel for bigger companies, but they were able to work from home and raise a family, raise children along that way. So that is, you not just affected women's life, but an entire family and the children, that they can eat and they can go to school because mom can make money for them.
So
So
mom can be a support person as well. It's not just the dad who has to go out. So the jeans factory thing was in Karachi.
yeah,
Yeah, but here in Hunza, what we did, Hunza and Gilgit, and then there's another city, Skardu, that is in Gilgit, Baltistan. If
yes,
anybody can, look it up, you will be able to find. So what they did is like they have their own tailoring businesses, or if they're working in handicraft, so we taught them how to improvise on that too. So it because Hunza is not an industrial city at all, so manufacturing jeans would be a dream in that land. Of course, yeah, Karachi is another ball game. It is like any metroplex. Shu has lived there, and she knows how it is. It can be super serene and calm, and the other minute it can be chaotic. So yeah, so this is how we were moving. And at this point in the north of Pakistan, I'm planning a few more projects, but they're more closely related to women, their health, and hygiene. And that kind of brings us back to the cycle of life that woman carries. And we just completely ignore the fact that
yes, yes,
the presence of women is just so important.
so
So
important.
yeah, we sometime will talk about that too.
Yes, very important. And we can start a series. I'm all up here for helping women. And let me tell you something. How important was it in your life that your family supported you in your dream and they worked with you, they allow you? Because that's another thing what I want to highlight here today.
Yes, I would not have done this without my family support, merely my brother. So my brother Johnny, you just call him Nicole, but he's Johnny. so,
Okay, Johnny.
so
Sorry.
yeah, so it happens. It happens all the time. time. So Johnny basically is one of the older siblings, and so I had a great connection with him. I would say he's my best friend, my mentor, my coach in life. So he's somebody who would appreciate if and I would not say all the men in my family has the same mindset that they would appreciate women so much, and they would let the sisters and the daughters do whatever they want to. Of course, now the things are changing, but back in the days when we were kids, because you put women in the box that, oh, she's gonna get some education, then she's gonna get married, have some children, and gonna take care of the family. However, her other potentials, I mean, that is perfectly all right, whoever wants to do that, but there are other potentials of women and girls in your surrounding. It's not just who you have to marry, you have to support that girl. How about your sisters? How about your siblings, your cousins? So without him, I couldn't have done any of this. And then I would say he's the one who became the voice for a lot of us, that, hey, that's the potential of the girl, let her do whatever. Because most of my family is not that, I would say, entrepreneurial when it comes to women. So it is
That's an important fact. What I want to get down to, that how can one become an entrepreneur coming out of a family who has no entrepreneurial background? What did it take?
It took a lot of risk taking, I would say. It took a lot of courage. It took I would say, if you're stepping out of your boundaries, that's what it was called. I was stepping out of my boundaries. It took a lot of criticism, a lot of cynicism, that.
How did you go against that? What did you do? How did you manage that? Now, that's
I think
a very important topic.
Time, yeah, it's most of the time I used to ignore. That was, just ignore whatever it is happening. Lot of women in the family, around the family, they would come and talk to my mom. Hey, what's going on? Your girl has been like in fashion school now. So when my mom supports, my father, my brother, they all were like, everybody should mind their own business.
Right. Good.
And at the point, and that set a precedent to so many girls in my family. And thank you to all the parents that now they understand that it's important to raise a girl with all the potential she has. Don't just put her in the box that, oh, she has education, or she cannot do anything else in her life other than what we want them to do. So I think a lot of things have changed because of my parents, because of my brother, because what we did, and because we were the older cousins, I would say. And I don't know how many cousins of mine would agree with that. They're like, meh, but I think I really think that actually paved the path for a lot of girls in the community.
Well, you are definitely an icon, I would say, in that. And how you feel that it turned around, that it's not just you made the business for you, but you felt the calling that you go out and give back to other women so they can have the same. Because that's the whole thing about being an entrepreneur. It's not just you build for yourself, but you start sharing your merits with everyone, and let them also have a better life. So how did that calling came to you? How did that just one day you just felt you have to do that? Or
I think it kind of, the desire to be useful for the community grew over the period of time, to be honest with you. And initially it was just about having a brand, and then it kind of evolved into that, how can we be more facilitating to the ladies in the community. And that calling, I would say, then one day I decided, okay, yeah, that's how it is going to be. And my connection with my students is very, very interesting. Some of this, like one of the schools I used to teach, was like majority of the students were with they were from a very established socio-economic class, where they would wear all the branded clothes, and wear even their brushes and the paint brushes, and the pens would be branded. And on the other hand, Yeah. And on the other hand, I would go and teach the girls who would not be able to afford any of that.
That
So
that's the best of the best, really, because
yeah.
it's, fashion designing is not for, you know socioeconomic standard. You don't have to, because you have creativity. So you chose all the women who had the seed within them to do something, and you nurture them to make the best of it. So that is the loveliest thing of all. And I have my dog here, is just getting entangled in my wires here. Hopefully everything is okay. But imagine that without you, how many women just got lost in the drain, so called, because you had sponsored them, you lifted them up, because you felt you have the calling to do that. And how important that is, that we all do that to each
So you, that's the most
financial freedom for women group, where I made this group happen. So we all realize that women, we all have to help each other, because our life will be so much better. Our life also, if I help someone to have their life better, my life will be better with that. Did you have an actual experience on that, that because you helped, God like gave you back so much more because of that? So one of the reason I am bringing you here, to highlight this for women, how much we have to do this. Did you have that experience?
I have this experience. And I learned from a lot of my women mentors that who were always there for me. You talk about television, you talk about fashion, you talk about nonprofits, you talk about my women teachers, who have taught me throughout my life. And that's what I learned from them. um, I think I always learn from my experiences, and good or bad, but I think that's a great learning experience. Dr. Zhu, your screen has frozen. Do you see yourself moving?
Hello? Yes, I'm seeing everything is okay. Can you hear me?
I
Yes?
can hear you very well. Yeah.
Because you left us for a moment, but I think everything is back okay. Um,
Yeah.
so amazing. Now we are getting into the last part of our session. That how what is your message for ladies who are just about to find their vision? How to find their vision? That's one. Let's start here. How to find their vision, how to find their intuition,
One
what to
thing,
do.
I'm going to give three, or some of the ideas that may sound very difficult, but this is where it is going to take you. If you have an idea, you know, run it through a mentor, maybe your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Run it through a mentor who has
Or
more.
within our group, you can come and run it by anyone in our group.
Yes, that's a very good idea. We can do that. Run it by us. If we have that capacity to help you, we will definitely help you. Another thing is, find your calling. If that is something you think you can do it, then stick to it. Persist, resist. That's the most important thing. I know this generation, this era is all about, instant fame and all that. Out of almost 7 billion people, not everybody can get instant fame, right? So be realistic, be very, very realistic in your goals, and stick to the plan and persist. That is, persistent is something, your continuous, I would say, the strength to keep you glued to that idea. You give it time to grow, and have confidence in yourself. Trust yourself. You and I can always advise you, but you're the one who's going to do it. Remember this. So that's for all my ladies, whoever is listening.
That's very, very amazing, because sometimes, just one sentence, one word from someone who assures you and ensures you that yes, you deserve to feel your calling, and you deserve to stick with that and work with it. For me, several times in my life I had that, and someone just said that you be okay, everything will be okay, just stick with it. It meant the world to me at that moment of a time. So we are telling you, girls, stick with it. If you have a vision, if you don't have a vision, then keep trying different things, right, until you realize what is your calling. It could be drawing, it could be some sorts of an art, should be writing, singing, painting, whatever artsy stuff you may be able to actually experience to bring the talent out of yourself. Back then, when I was searching for my interest, I used to go to the library. At that time, we had physical libraries with books. Now you have internet.
Mhm.
And I used to pick out books randomly from the library, and I looked in it. What is it what I'm interested in? And then I realized I love flowers, then here it is. I love plants. Now I grow them also. So there's so many things. You just have to expose yourself to this information. So if there is any other thing you have an issue, you can come to Ambreen or me. We're happy to have a word with you on that. Just please don't get lost in the world of sorrow and sadness, because life is a beautiful thing. You are here for a reason, and let's have us find it in you. What is it to bring it out for you? Second is, and my last question really, what do you suggest? What your message is to those who are in business, but it is not going so well, because of some sorts of family reasons, some sorts of whatever circumstances, but they found their vision. What to do then? What's your message to them?
So it is a very, very good question. And especially in the clothing business, especially people living in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and all that the whole region where people have accessibility to go and buy fabric and get it stitched. Your businesses, if you're not on top of everything, does get affected. What my suggestion to you is, try to look for different kind of innovations. Maybe because people are looking for different kind of marketing tactics. One example I love to give is, like, during the pandemic, a lot of ladies who were selling their stuff from home, Facebook and the other social media outlets allowed them to have their live programs where they're actually engaging with people, and hats off to them. I have seen people doing this from New York. I have seen this people doing this from Pune, India. I have so many places in India, so many places in Karachi, so many places in the US. And I really, really admire their courage, because they kind of adopted to the technology. And we're still in the post pandemic era, post COVID-19 pandemic era. We must remember this. And things are going to be challenging. So take this challenge, rethink about your strategies, and bring it out. And mostly, if you are going with the trends, you should be successful.
Definitely. And in the meantime, I got one more question.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of women want to hear your opinion about that. Is how important it is that women start to believe that they deserve to have financial freedom.
I think it's financial freedom, I would say, is part of your freedom bucket, or the basket you're carrying of freedom.
Yeah,
The financial freedom allows you to do a lot of things you may not be able to do if you do not have that monetary strength, or that money you don't if you don't have. So I would suggest that keep it as one of the priorities. But I think your mental liberation, your psychological freedom, that is more important. And I think money comes second or third, however you want to keep it. But do keep all these elements together and make it a priority of your life.
Yes, yes, and I'm so so grateful that you highlighted this, because most of the people and girls also, you are in this, and I used to be within that same bucket back then. That we have to work on our heads first, and to to free ourselves emotionally. And once you do that, abundance will come in every from every different kind of direction, and blessing will come to you in many different shapes and forms. And it's just amazing when you can accept life moment by moment,
Mm.
as a happiness, as something to be grateful. Whatever the moment brings, find the happiness in it, and then you will have a really happy life. So, really, what I am out for is to show you that it's not money which will bring you happiness. It will allow you to do a lot more things, but it will come. It will come as a byproduct, as Ambreen was saying, as a byproduct of doing one, two, and three. It will come as a fourth and a fifth. It will just come naturally if you practice all, what you have to be practicing: believing in yourself, valuing yourself, respecting yourself, having confidence, and stick to your work and persist. And you bound to succeed. You bound to succeed, just like Ambreen succeeded and doing so many amazing things. So thank you so much, Ambreen, for being here. We are even past our 30 minutes. Is there anything else you would like to tell our ladies, gentlemen, whoever is watching us? We are not discriminating anyone here. We are welcoming you.
Yes, we're
What
not
is your
discriminating at all, and you are more than welcome to. If you have any questions, if you need any kind of, you know, support in terms of, where you need to talk and you need to discuss your idea, do get in touch with me and Ju. I mean, Dr. Ju can actually connect me and you together. So I think this is something we should not ignore in our life. Then each one of us has greater potential than we can actually think about ourselves, because
yes?
we are just so good at undermining ourselves. But the day you will realize, no, you with a lot of humility, if you feel like, oh, this is something I can do, that would change your life.
I was asked you to say that because we made a video many many years back. It's on my YouTube channel, and even up to today I get comments from girls how much they love you, and one of them was looking for you, and I started to go back and forth with her, and she just got lost, and I asked her, please, tell me, how can we get in touch with you, because on a YouTube comment, if you don't write your email address, then we don't know how to get in touch with you. So maybe we can have Ambreen's email address here,
Mhm.
and I will add it to the description. So anyone who like to get in touch with her, you have some fabulous designs. I'm sure there is something can be done, because you see the talent in everyone.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for being here, really, and apologies for this time difference things. And I'm happy it all worked out for us. And I was disturbing you with your morning walk with your puppy. So lots of love to all of you, your
Mhm.
entire family,
Mhm.
every kind of four-legged, two-legged, everyone.
I like this message. Yeah.
Yes, best wishes and lots of love, and God's prayers, my prayers for your health and love and continuing success. So thank you so much,
Thank
everyone,
you
for
so
being
much.
here. Thank you again, sending you lots of love from my heart to you and to everyone around this world. Thank you so much again.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.